It was supposed to be an ordinary Friday night. I had just put our 5-year-old son Michael to bed and was washing dishes in the kitchen. My husband Daniel was in the living room, flipping through TV channels. "Hey, do you want tea?" I called out. No response. I wiped my hands and stepped into the living room. The TV was still on, the remote resting on the couch. But Daniel was gone. I checked the bedroom, the bathroom, the front yard. Nothing. His car keys were gone, but his phone was still charging on the counter. It didn't make sense. By morning, I knew something was terribly wrong. Days turned into weeks. I filed a missing persons report. The police started an investigation. They found Daniel's car abandoned at a gas station 2 miles away. The engine was still warm when they got there. No signs of forced entry, no blood, no calls, just silence. Then the case went cold. They told me it was a voluntary disappearance. No foul play suspected, but I knew Daniel. He would never leave me. He would never leave Michael. Something was off. 10 years passed. I did my best to move on for Michael. But every time I looked at my son, I saw Daniel's face staring back at me. I had long given up on answers until the day he found me. It wasn't a private investigator or the police. It was Facebook. I clicked on his profile. His name was different now, Chris Manning. But it was him. My husband, alive, well, happy, with a new wife, and a daughter who looked about 6 years old. A daughter born 4 years after he vanished. I needed answers. I found his address through a business listing. He was running a real estate agency in a town 3 states away. So I got in my car and drove straight to his office. When I walked in, he was laughing with a co-worker. Then he saw me, and his face turned ghost white. His voice trembled. "Melissa?" "That's funny," I said, crossing my arms. "I thought your name was Chris." His hands shook. He glanced around the office like he was looking for an escape. "You need to leave," he whispered. "No, you need to talk." His new wife had no idea. When I found her, she was holding their daughter's hand, completely unaware that the man she loved was living a double life. I introduced myself. "I'm Daniel's wife." Her face drained of color. "What?" "He was my husband first." That night, he finally confessed. He said he was drowning in debt. He felt like a failure. So one night, he just walked away. He started over. New name, new life, like we never even existed, like Michael never even existed. His new wife threw him out. His business partners found out. His whole fake life crumbled in an instant. But I didn't care about revenge. I just wanted my son to have the truth. And I needed to see if he still wanted a father. I let him see Michael. They sat across from each other in a quiet diner. Daniel begged. Michael listened. Then my son stood up and said, "You left me once. You don't get a second chance." And he walked out. Daniel disappeared again after that. This time, I didn't look for him, because I had found everything I needed: the truth, the closure, the freedom. For the first time in 10 years, I was finally free. This isn't just my story, it's a warning. Some people don't deserve a second chance, and sometimes the closure we need isn't about getting answers, it's about realizing we're better off without them.